Heyo everybody, Haku here with my next read-through for Magical Girl Raising Project episodes, and this one's going to be Magical Daisy season finale. It's been a while. It's been a while since I did this, maybe a couple weeks. A, because there have been so many videos I haven't had time. B, because I really wanted to work on and get the Manmusu Top Waifu video finished, and that's pretty much finished. I just need to wait for a day that I have a few empty hours that I can record it on, which will probably be tomorrow actually. I'm hoping to record it tomorrow. So yeah, I did want to have my next read through up soon though, and I finally got time, and whoa, that was a terrible hiccup, and I was like, I'm going to do it this week, so yeah, here we are, I guess. I did record a couple videos before this, so hopefully my voice doesn't cut out, but yeah, glad to be back reading this. We're going to finish reading off episodes, of course, still the plan. There's only a few more left. I think there's 8 more, 7 more maybe even. 7 after this, I think. So then, once we finish that, I can do a video, and I'm going to do a video talking about my favorite characters from Restart. And after I do that, we will do my sort of reaction to the character designs video like I did for Restart. We'll do that for Limited, and then we'll start reading Limited. So yeah, guess that's it. Let's get into reading this though. Just wanted to give you that update since it's been a couple weeks. So here we are, Magical Daisy season finale. This story is set long before Magical Girl Raising Project. Daisy, sigh, palette. What's wrong, Daisy? Why are you sighing out? Daisy, of course I am. It's sad that it's a holiday and I have to dig up some holes. Palette. But didn't your mom tell you to dig a hole to throw your garbage away? Daisy, can't I just make the hole with my beam? Palette, you can't use your magic for that. We should dig with a normal shovel. Daisy, you always suggest the most annoying things, Palette. Minako, hey, look, Sanai-chan found a treasure map in her shed. Daisy, what, really? Minako, really, everyone's looking for the treasure. Come on, Daisy. Daisy, I'm going. I'll be there soon. Palette, wait, Daisy, you haven't finished digging your hole yet. Miracle, logical, cynical, magical Daisy, coming from the land of flowers, the fighting princess, cutting through the wind with her daisy punch whoosh, crushing all the boulders with her daisy kick crash, and her secret weapon, her daisy beam, beep. Alright, everyone's waiting. Let's... In the middle of the opening theme, the television's power turned off. With a single press of a button, the colorful animation reflected on the TV screen turned completely black. To Kiku Yamako, her real-time magical daisy watching was like an indispensable ritual. She had gratefulness and pride in her heart, and she watched and listened solemnly, just like a real ritual. At the same time as becoming a third-year middle school student, since she couldn't openly watch Sunday morning anime as a common activity anymore, she watched it in secret, as if it were a secret ceremony. But today, there was a reason why she couldn't watch something that she had to watch. Everything ready? Ready. Kiku nodded at the question posed by the face protruding out from her pocket. It was something that looked like a weasel, or a small animal that looked like a mouse. The mascot character Palette. Kiku Yakumo wasn't an ordinary middle school girl. It's been a year since she became the magical girl Magical Daisy. As a magical girl, she did a variety of activities. Not just safe things like removing her transformation to take the hand of a lost child back to their parents. She also did dangerous things like jumping onto a truck whose driver had fallen asleep to wake him up, among other things. Okay. While she's doing these activities, she also had her normal middle school life. Kiku also had many friends who consulted her on things as well, and solving their problems was also a part of a magical girl's job. Although there were problems that growing kids had that she couldn't solve, just listening to them still meant something. She was busy, she had fun. Every day she was chasing rewarding work. She overcame those difficulties and continued to train, becoming strong, becoming gentle, and as a magical girl, she aimed to become even more higher. She caught the eye of an examiner who had been secretly observing her. They reported to their higher-ups, and now she had an anime. Other than some adaptations like making her a transfer student from the Land of Flowers, Magical Daisy's activities were faithfully reproduced. Daisy's mascot character Palette, who always stuck with her, had said that only a handful among handfuls of magical girls got an anime, and once they reach that point they'll be melted and refined, polished by the hands of craftsmen, so they were almost like legendary ultra-rares. She only really got half of what Palette explained, but she knew from Palette's proud expression that she had been given a rare honor. Hearing Palette's explanation, Daisy felt really lucky that she had already gotten an anime, despite only starting her magical girl days lacking experience. Every day she acted as a magical girl while trying to lead other people's lives to a better direction. Kiku always remembered to be thankful. "Daisy, you nervous?" "Well, yeah, a bit." She was prouder than most people her age, but she also knew that she had butterflies in her stomach, even if she didn't transform into a magical girl. Her magical girl activities didn't just change magical Daisy, it also changed Kiku Yakumo on the inside. Her experience became her confidence became her strength, and her hard strength became her core. Kiku was that kind of person, yet she was being so nervous that she might as well be an open book. This was a different kind of difficulty than the ones she experienced as a magical girl. She put on her uniform and shouted out, "I'm going," as she headed for the exit. Why did she wear a uniform? When she meets someone important, she didn't really know what kind of clothes to wear, so the safest option would be her school uniform. To students, these clothes seemed old-fashioned and unpopular. She passed her hands through the sleeves of an old sailor suit uniform and adjusted her scarf while staring at a mirror. That's right. Today she'll be meeting someone important. They'll be wondering if Magical Daisy had been doing proper magical girl activities, sent from the land of magic to reconfirm this. This was different from examiners. This was someone in the position of either a producer or director. Thanks to the nature of her activities involving her to not be seen by ordinary people, the basic times where she could act as a magical girl were at night. But today, she's starting her magical girl activities in the morning. Which is good and all, but since she didn't transform, she had to go as Kiku Yakumo and head toward the important person in her school uniform. It was a 5-minute walk from the station as she rode the subway train, and she arrived in the second station located in the center of the city. At the hotel by the station, the important person was waiting. The name of the hotel and the room number that they were using in the human world had already been written out on a piece of paper. Even on the train, she wasn't calm. She repeatedly took the paper from her pocket and confirmed its contents. She was only meeting an important person working in the magical girl industry, but she still felt nervous, and she didn't know what kind of person they were. It only made her even more nervous. Palette hadn't even met them either. "I'm one of the frontline mascots, you see. That's why I don't know anything about them. So you're just an underling who gets ordered around a lot. Daisy, you say the most complicated things so calmly." By the time they reached the front desk of the hotel, she already knew how much her heart was beating rapidly. She didn't think of this place as a business hotel in front of the station, but as a hotel where royalty, nobles, and purveyors gathered. She was given the name and room number, and gulped as she found herself in front of the room. She knocked twice. "Come in." A woman, a girl's voice, a magical girl. "Excuse me." The hands that were holding the doorknob were dripping with sweat. She tried to naturally soften her hardened voice and expression as she opened the door. She looked around the room. It was narrow. There was a bath and a toilet on the right, and right in front of her was already a bed. The sheets and mattress were a mess, with a clutter of small objects on top of it. As a whole, it looked messy. There was a figure sitting on a chair in front of a television, spreading her right hand towards Kiku. "Well, sit down." "Where?" There was only one chair in the room. That chair was already occupied. The bed was cluttered with no room for her feet, so naturally there was nowhere for her to sit. She looked back at the person. She looked to be in her mid-20s. An important person at that age could only be a magical girl. She had a terribly strange-looking appearance, and that appearance was probably due to her being a magical girl too. Her hair color was green. She had a mixed hairstyle of an afro and dreadlocks, and she wore a baseball cap to hold it all down. She had large sunglasses, even though her eyes were hidden. You could see that her facial features were proportional, meaning she really was a magical girl. She crossed her long slender legs underneath her leopard print miniskirt. She crossed her arms, she closed her lips firmly, and her tone and appearance seemed unpleasant, so Kiku panicked. Making this important person have a bad mood wouldn't be a good start. She didn't have to... This important person sounds like such a mess. Green afro and dreadlocks? Is that what they said? What a mess. That sounds like pretty crazy to look at. And also the leopard print outfit. She didn't have time to mess around. The only place she could sit was on the floor. She sat kneeling on the floor, looking up at the girl in front of her. The girl nodded and muttered, "Good," which was completely disproportionate from her age. She really was a big deal. "You don't have to be so stiff. Magical Daisy aired tonight, right? I'm just here to confirm that." "Ah, yes." She said not to be so stiff. Saying those words made her seem kind, but in reality she looked like she was in even more of a bad mood. "Nice to meet you. I'm the mascot character assigned to her, Palette." "Well, while I was waiting, I checked every episode that aired until now, but..." Palette popped his head out of Kiku's pocket, but the girl lightly ignored him and threw a bunch of papers on the desk. Kiku glanced over here and there. It seemed to be documents regarding Magical Daisy. "Last week's broadcast. What is this?" "That's the time I went to a warehouse to stop drug trafficking." "Why were you looking for drug traffickers? That's not what magical girls are supposed to do, is it? Talk to the police. Why do you think we pay them our taxes?" Not to mention you shot your beam, didn't you? You know you're not supposed to use your special moves on humans, right?" Palette took over for Kiku, who was tongue-tied. "We wanted to use normal beatings, but as an anime that would be too boring, so the director added in the beam. It's just a production touch." Palette recorded Magical Daisy's activities in video, then he handed them over to a collaborator in the TV station. From there, an anime is made by the production company. Palette chooses what's recorded on the video, but sometimes the director will want their own opinions. The important person furrowed her lips. "Then it's a lie, isn't it?" "Huh? Don't huh me. It's a lie. You didn't do it in real life, yet you did it in the anime. You're betraying the children who believe in Magical Daisy's existence, aren't you?" No, but it's like you don't even know what it means to be a magical girl. You need dedication to being a gentle, lovely, and compassionate person, don't you? Who wants to pick a fight with drug traffickers? That's not something you show for Sunday mornings. The important person beat on the desk so much that her papers made a sound. Palette went back inside the pocket and Kiku hung her head. If she could, she didn't want to stay here any longer. The important person sighed and continued. "Another thing, the circumstances of Daisy knowing about the drug trafficking are quite strange. Hearing rumors from the city and her classmates, isn't that a little too convenient?" Palette, who had pulled back inside the pocket, nervously stuck out his head outside again. "Well, about that, the TV station people helped us out with that. When Daisy's classmate was going home from school to the shopping district, they heard rumors there. That's just fake." She slammed the table again, and Palette once more hit his face. "Don't you hate it when your anime is fake?" "This is surprising. I've only been checking the episodes that have aired until now. Do you have no ethical standards? Do you think that'll be allowed? That this would be okay? This is just the kind of thing that could strip you of your license, you know. Don't you understand this? A magical girl anime is much more important than you think. There's only a few opportunities to tell people what magical girls are like. If you crush your chances like that, then that's on you. I'm sorry. Don't apologize to me. Apologize to the people who you've shown a false magical girl image to." Viewers, I'm sorry. While remaining in her sitting position, she stared at the important person's toes. She hadn't heard anything about this. Palette told her that it's going to be a face-to-face meeting, so Kiku came in for that. Palette was now hiding in her pocket and didn't come out. While Kiku was thinking, how long is this going to continue, she hung her head. "I can see that you're reflecting on yourself. However, we still need to act on it. Okay, let's go outside. Go ahead and transform." "Huh? But it's still noon." "So? If a magical girl spotted, that'll be trouble." Thrice now the stacks of paper were hit. "Why do you think I'm dressed like this? I'm trying not to give myself away as a magical girl identity with this ridiculous outfit. It's the same as the masked wrestler wearing a mask wherever they go. A magical girl is always a magical girl, even when she gets out. Now get changed." She got a paper bag. Inside was a t-shirt and a baseball cap, and there were also some overalls too. "Well, get dressed, then we'll go do some magical girl activities. I'll be the recording officer this time, okay? Since if I leave it to your mascot character, we get questionable results." But, no buts, hurry up now. She put some overalls on her t-shirt and she wore her hat to the point where it covered her eyes, and as a bonus, she covered her face with a white towel so no one would think she's Magical Daisy, though she looked more like a pervert or a burglar. She knew this because 70% of the people that passed Daisy would stare at her for about 2 or 3 times. 20% of them hurriedly looked away and would see the person with the green-colored afro walking beside her and stare at her instead. 10% of them were looking for the TV cameras. After walking down a road of shame, they arrived at a deserted house. It was in the city, but this was obviously a deserted house. It wasn't just simply old, it was originally a private house, but there was no sign of anyone. It was tilted, there was soot, weeds were growing as well, and part of the zinc rooftop had peeled off. While the important person held a handycam on her right hand, she ducked under the no trespassing sign and opened the lock. The room inside was stagnant and dusty. All right, clean this up. Give it all you've got. 10 minutes later. Bring that over here. Put it inside the cardboard box. Okay. Hey, Pallet, when is this going to end? Well, come on. If you have time to waste on useless talking, then move your hands. 30 minutes later. This tatami mat's rotten, but we'll throw it away then. The floor underneath it's rotten too, though. Remove the floorboards. I'll fix it. 1 hour later. That's right, that's how you hammer a nail. You finally understood. Thanks. 2 hours later. Since we've run out of nails, go buy some at that Home Depot place. I'll give you some money. Oh, buy some trash bags too. 5 hours later. Daisy beam. That's right, now the trash is gone. And I was able to cook some rice and miso soup too. Well, it's a little late, but let's have some dinner. Pallet, you can cook with that small of a body? Haha, I just have experience. Work continued until the next morning. The 3 of them revitalized the deserted house. It's a little overdone, but it looked like someone was actually living there now. The grandmother that seemed to be the landlord expressed her gratitude. Holding her hand tightly, she said thank you over and over, made Daisy happy somehow too. So basically they're turning Magical Daisy's anime into one of those home improvement shows. Let me grab some water really quick at this scene break. Alright. And we're almost done, wow. Just like 2-3 more pages. The newcomer manga artist, the newcomer manga artist, 21-year-old Karin Sonoda, tilted her neck. It was the weekly broadcasting of Magical Daisy, but somehow today's episode was kind of weird. Magical Daisy didn't use her powers and fixed a broken house normally. For example, in the Magical Daisy episode broadcasted last week, she'd begun treasure hunting after digging the hole. These kinds of things showed how an adventure can begin from something casual in her daily life, and it wasn't just limited to Magical Daisy. She thought something like that would definitely happen this time, but it just ended with her repairing and cleaning normally. The grandma who was the landlord thanked them a lot, and everyone smiled. Pallet also said even old things can be used properly if they're repaired, like some moral education show. Then it faded out. There was no punchline. Furthermore, it's not her usual costume. She was wearing normal long-sleeve t-shirts and jeans and some overalls. Her face was covered in cloth. She looked like a killer from the countryside of America who would swing a chainsaw at you at any moment. Karim began to think, this isn't a magical girl. Magical Daisy's charm was that regardless that it was a morning TV show, she wasn't fighting demons or an evil secret society. She was fighting realistic organizations that threatened society. It was avant-garde. Today's broadcast had none of that charm at all. What made this happen? She went to the Magical Girl forums and looked at the Magical Daisy threads. She's never seen it this rough. Magical Daisy's threads were relatively relaxed despite being a current anime, and calm, a thread where you could easily pass your time, but people have been coming from everywhere, including people who only intended to vandalize it, and made it into this miserable state. Welcome to most places on the internet. Karin shuffled across her room. She opened the bag of potato chips stored in her cupboard. She wasn't thinking about the diet she'd been meticulously keeping until last night anymore. Priority had been given to releasing the stress of how weird Magical Daisy had become. See Daisy, doing the evil of making people break their diets. Her assistant will come in the afternoon. Her deadline was also near. Mangakas who were in tough positions had to work more than those who sold well in order to maintain their standing. However, she had to release the accumulated stress she had up until now. While she was crunching on her potato chip, she was tapping on her keyboard. There was a mountain of things that Kadeen wanted to say about what happened. As a Magical Girl enthusiast, and as a fan of Magical Daisy, questions gushed up one after another. While she wanted to put forth her assertiveness as the verified user Jenna Psycho, she had to maintain peace in the forums. There were many missions imposed to Kadeen. In order to protect Magical Daisy, she had to work. Oh yeah, what if I held an autograph session? Ah, poor Jenna Psycho. So it's cool to see Jenna Psycho again in this state. And again, sad that Jenna Psycho was one of the ones who did not make it. But moving along a little bit further now, she looked up at the sky through the window. On one side of the blue sky there was a white vapor trail. It was a splendid blue color, perfect for a landscape painting. If she didn't have this disappointed feeling looking upwards, it surely would have been a pleasant blue sky, even if it was a sky viewed from the room of a cluttered hotel. Her thoughts that she couldn't possibly be wrong grew. I lost there. So I kind of just sort of filled in the rest of that sentence of what I thought with what I thought the words would be. Found my place again though. She took her baseball cap and threw it on the top of the bed. She took off her afro wig and wore her glasses and white coat, wore the puzzle cube on her neck, and passed her legs through her short pants. She had been fired. She loved Magical Girl anime. That's why she was embraced with her passion. They couldn't understand such passionate feelings. She thought they wanted to know what a proper Magical Girl was. Even though she helped as much as she could with the TV programming, the ratings were at their lowest, and the Land of Magic had ordered her to return immediately. Even though this was supposed to be the real Magical Daisy, by using anime they were supposed to show the proper actions of a Magical Girl. The anime that was supposed to guide girls wasn't accepted by the public. Protests and complaints rushed to her, so the TV station had to return Magical Daisy to its original antisocial content. The masses were filthy. It was populism, only flattering each other to go along with their views. The girl tried to open the hotel window, but it didn't move. For safety reasons, the window had been kept in an unopenable state, a so-called fixed fitting. I hate Magical Girl anime. The girl Keek shouted at the unopenable window as the glass began to shake. Keek is killing me. She's like one of those really angry people that wants more, like one of the, the angry parents from the 80s that want wholesome children's cartoons. That is Keek. Oh gosh. That was really funny though. I liked that one a lot. It was funny. I liked the little bit that they just threw in there with Yumenashima. I like that the lady with the green afro did turn out to be someone we knew, and that it was Keek, because it actually develops Keek more, shows her more of an impotent villain, even though she's terrible because she killed all of the girls that died in Restart. Because technically, nobody killed anybody in Restart except for Keek. Keek did everything. She's the only one at fault here. Man. Damn it, Keek. So yeah, I guess that's it though. Really, I can't think of anything else to say for this video, so like if you did like it. And comment down there to tell me what you thought of this episode, what you thought of my thoughts on it and all of that, my first thoughts and reaction. Subscribe for more Magical Girl Raising Project, much more on the channel. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I kind of outlined what the plans were there. Follow on Twitter if you want. I can try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel. And if you want a link to our Discord server, just ask and I'll give you one. We can talk there. That's it. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.